So I want to do a Packers Q&A video here, and so I have many different questions that you guys asked me a few days ago in my YouTube community tab. So I want to cover some of these questions. I'm not going through all of them. I'll probably do another video in the future because there were 53 questions. So I probably have like 10 or 15 here, maybe less, maybe 8, something like that. A few questions to answer. So I want to get right on into it. So first off, we have here from Talks, who says, let's say around trade deadline time, our offense is met and our defense is great. We need to improve at wide receiver. How would you feel about trading Jordan Love and some draft capital to Seattle for one of their wide receivers? So if the Packers were struggling, let's say our receivers weren't getting it done, let's say Sammy Watkins wasn't getting it done, the rookies weren't doing anything, you were saying, should the Packers trade Jordan Love and some draft capital to get, I guess that would either be DK Metcalf, maybe Tyler Lockett? For that, I'd say no. I don't think we should trade away Jordan Love, especially with the uncertainty of Rodgers' future. He could retire after this season, and if that were to be the case, I think it's better to have Jordan Love still on this roster. So I think it would be better to find another wide receiver that's maybe not a top tier like DK Metcalf at that point in time to potentially sign or trade for, who could maybe you could get a later round draft pick, a third or fourth round draft pick for. That would make more sense. I just don't want to trade Jordan Love right now at this time for the Packers. You know, if a guy like Odell still has yet to sign with the team, which I feel like he will before the season starts, but if there's some random free agent out there that makes sense, I think that would be a better option for the Packers. So those are my thoughts on that one. Then we have here from Matthew Moylan, who says, do you think Rodgers will have a strong urge to push for a third MVP in a row to tie Favre's record of the three-peat and Peyton Manning in total MVPs? I do think Rodgers probably does want to come in and win MVP for a third consecutive time, and if he does that, that would be incredible because, I mean, to win one MVP is hard enough, but then to already win back-to-back is insane, and then to potentially have a chance to come in and win back-to-back-to-back MVPs 3 in a row, that would be wild, and I think that, you know, for Rodgers to do that, things would have to go very, very well for this offense, which I do think this offense can be very good, but I want Rodgers to win MVP, but the odds of him winning once again, I feel like the NFL would rather someone else win it, you know, instead of Rodgers continuing to get it. So if he's head and shoulders over everyone else, I think there's no question he would get it, but I'm just not sure it'll happen for a third consecutive year. That would be wild, though, and I would love to see that. Then we have here from Graham Dyke, who says, many people are explaining away our current wide receiver issues by saying players like Devontae, Jordy Nelson, and others struggled early in their career but grew out of it. However, presumably by the time these current players grow out of their issues, we may not have Rodgers at QB. Do you think this current class of receivers will be good enough in time to win another championship with Rodgers at QB? That is the question. There's lots of uncertainty there when we do look at the Packers rookie wide receivers. And I think it is a little different than previous years, you know, when we look at the young players that Rodgers played with, because I feel like in previous years there was always that like legit number one option. There was, you know, Jordy Nelson was there when Devontae came in, you know, sort of situations like that. And I do think this year there is a lot more opportunity, which does make me think that these rookies do have a higher chance of producing in their first year just because of all the opportunity that is there. Maybe Sammy Watkins takes some of that up. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Alan Lazard takes a lot of that up, which I feel like he will. But I do think, unlike previous years when a newer receiver came in, there's a lot more opportunity here. And so I think that someone like Christian Watson, you know, has a chance to do well in his first season. I don't think it's necessarily going to take years. It could, and if it does, it would be unfortunate if Rodgers were to retire and then they start to, you know, play great, but that could potentially happen. So we'll have to wait and see. There's lots of uncertainty there, but I think they can get it done the first year. At least Christian Watson, I think, can be productive. Then we have here from S. Nelson. Who do you think will be the best rookie receiver this year? I think it's going to be Christian Watson just because of, 6'4", 4'3", 640, second-round draft pick. I do think Romeo Doubs could be productive in his first season, but I just think that, you know, Christian Watson is just an elite athlete. One of the most athletic wide receivers ever drafted. I think he was like number 5 overall when it comes to like relative athletic score. And so I think just adding all of that in, I think he has the best shot to be the best rookie. But I do think Romeo Doubs could, do some good things his first year as well. Then we have here from Cheese. Do you think we can have the best defense next year? I honestly do. I think we could have, it's possible that we have the number 1 defense. I feel like we could be top 5. Just when you look at all the pieces we brought back, Rasul Douglas, Devondre Campbell, Jair is back, and then the 2 signings in Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker to boost this defense even more. We were pretty solid last year, especially in that 49ers playoff game, even though the offense and special teams struggled a lot in that one, which pretty much lost us the game. But that defense was elite, and that was without Quay Walker, and Devontae Wyatt. So I think when you add in those factors, all the guys coming back, coming into the second year under Joe Barry, I think the Packers do have a shot to be the best defense in the league. That will be tough because there are lots of other talented defenses around the league, but the Packers, I think, are one of the teams that could do that. Then we have here from the Germinator. What are the weaknesses for the Packers coming this season? Go Green Bay, the real Bay Area. So when I was thinking about this question, this isn't really a weakness, I would say, but the biggest question mark, at least in my mind, is the Packers wide receiver room. I don't necessarily think it's a weakness. It could be. There's just so much uncertainty because, there's no really... there's lots of question marks with 3 rookies and Sammy Watkins. We're all just hoping that those players will do well, which I think there's a good chance that they do well, and that, with all those receivers, that a couple will be good enough to, keep this Packers offense, moving as they have in the past. But that is the biggest question mark, and so there is a chance that the receiver room isn't great if those guys can't produce in this year in the Packers offense. My opinion is they will produce, but I think that is the biggest question mark. And if we didn't have Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, I would be a lot more worried about the wide receiver, room. But with Rodgers at QB, I think that he can really make anything happen. So I think the Packers offense will be completely fine. I think they'll be, very solid next year. The other, I'd say, weakness / question mark is, when it comes to the offensive line, when we look at Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins. So Elton Jenkins will be missing time with his ACL injury. And the thing with Bakhtiari is I thought he'd be ready by training camp, but Aaron Rodgers said hopefully he'll be ready by training camp, and Matt LaFleur also said hopefully he'll be ready by training camp. So it's not a sure thing that he'll be ready by training camp, which makes me a little bit worried about, David Bakhtiari and his knee injury. I hope he will get back to full strength, but if he can't, the Packers will have to rely on a lot of young talent, which luckily the Packers have drafted a lot of those players, but there will be some, I'd say, question marks there. Then we have here from Easy C Cheesehead Sports. Should the Packers offer Lazard a future deal? So right now, because Alan Lazard did sign a second-round tender, or he didn't sign it yet, sorry. He has not signed a second-round tender. He has until June 15th to sign it, which is what I read in multiple places. And if he doesn't, I believe he'll make less money. And so the question is, right now, are the Packers trying to get a deal done with him? And I would be all for it with Lazard. If the Packers, didn't get a deal done with him and he did play on the second-round tender, I think that either sometime later in the season or next offseason, the Packers should try to, sign him to a long-term extension, just because I think he's a very valuable player in this Packers offense, not only receiving the ball, but also when it comes to run blocking, his ability to really do that, which Matt LaFleur loves. So I do hope he stays around for years and years, and so I hope eventually the Packers get a long-term deal done with him. If it's not, right now, hopefully sometime in the next year. Then we have here from Maximus. What do you think are the chances that Packers come out as a Super Bowl champions this year? Personally, I just don't think it will happen, but hey, nothing is impossible. So, when it comes to Super Bowl champion, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Obviously, most teams, or lots of teams right now think their team has a chance, and I think the Packers definitely have a shot at the Super Bowl. Year after year, when you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, there's a good chance you make the playoffs, and there's a good chance that, when you get in the playoffs, you have a chance to make a run, which the Packers have done in the past. They've, been stopped up at the NFC Championship game for a while last year, out a little earlier. But I still think the Packers, have that potential to, win a Super Bowl. The question is, will things click in the playoffs? Because I do think the Packers will make the playoffs. Will things click? Will they be able to get everything together? I think they have a chance to win a Super Bowl 100%. Will it happen? We will see. Time will tell. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, Real Sideline Scoop, I'm trying to hit 500 followers. I'm currently at 307. So my next goal is 500. I had to up my goal because you guys hit my last goal pretty quickly. So Real Sideline Scoop on Instagram if you guys want to follow me over there for, more Packers content, some stuff I don't post over here. So follow me there, link in description. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.